Attention! The movie guys love movies. Any comments made during this showcast are done by professionals on a closed course and for the amusement and entertainment of your friends. Please try these jokes at home. Isn't that right, movie guys?
Hey, that's the name of the show.
That'll learn you to stomp grapes in our show.
I almost feel bad for her now. That's more graphic just listening to than watching.
That is a viral video that plays in audio quite well.
Yes, yes it does.
You know, it almost plays even better because in the background you can hear like music's all happy, and then she's in the foreground.
I always feel
music.
I always feel bad in that clip because she's making a funny. She does this thing with the other girl, the stomping grapes, clip.
She's like, I'm doing a bit.
She goes, okay, let's stop. And the other girl, the news girl, stops and she goes, and she pretends she's doing it real fast and just loses her footing. And you're like, it was just like making that joke that
Lucy made it look so fun.
Yeah, Lucy didn't fall and do whatever.
Lucy
break
didn't
her,
sever
whatever.
her spleen.
Yeah, but Lucy didn't have the cut back to the guys in studio going, I think
yeah.
she really hurt herself there.
That is actually the best thing about that clip is when it cut back to the news people.
I think she's really hurt.
Lest you think we're heartless and going straight to commercial because that's what we were going to do no matter how that ended. And then they go, we're going to make sure she's okay, but now we're going to go to a commercial.
Hey, welcome to the Movie Showcast, everybody. Part of the vast and sprawling movie guys empire. No, venti is 20. Large is large. In fact, tall is large. And grande is Spanish for large. Venti is the only one that doesn't mean large. It's also the only one that's Italian, so congratulations, you're stupid in 3 languages.
These are getting longer every week, Paul.
You've reached ground zero for all things movies and comedy. We bring the two together right here on our show every week with rants, sketches, previews, characters, jokes, bits, special guests, and more. You can expect that in the next hour or so as we broadcast from the Admirals Club in the heart of Burbank Airport's flyover zone. Now, however you're watching us now, just know that we are also found on iTunes, SoundCloud, and YouTube as well. Search the Movie Showcast or the Movie Guys, and we come right up. And don't forget, if you're addicted to clocks, you can find us exactly at 4 p.m. Eastern on badtomato.fm and wbad.net. Paul Preston here with Lee Caius, Adam Witt, and Karen Volpe. Our special guest this week is stand-up comic Andy Peters.
Yay, Mr. Peters!
And as ever, we'll bring you our signature previews of what's new in theaters, prepping you for the upcoming weekend. So first up is the Ron Howard car racing film, and it's a rivalry pick entitled Rush.
What you say about his company is what you say about society.
I have a feeling that's going to happen a lot. Okay.
You
And
think?
Later in the show, we'll look at
help it.
Later, we'll look at the new breakdancing film. I'm being corrected. The new term is b-boying.
Yes.
B-boying. So the new b-boying film, Battle of the Year. I have a feeling that's going to happen a lot, too. Now, later in the show, a story sure to be ripped from tomorrow's headlines.
Day 6, and every day she's wondering why I'm not there.
You told us that you could protect us from everything.
Why did you look for my daughter? Give me back my son!
Oh my God!
Oh, that movie's Gravitas, right?
That last part might have been from Ransom.
I'm like, that movie sounded better than I remember.
Hollywood loves to have Australian guys yelling for their kids in these movies. And Hugh Jackman does that in Prisoners. That's what that really was. But so that's we'll be talking about that later. And that looks, it's getting better reviews than I thought it would. I thought a September release with Hugh Jackman, maybe they weren't so sure about it, but the reviews are pretty solid for that movie.
All those actors are swinging for the fences with emotion. I mean, that's an insanely... obviously it's an emotional drama, but it just looks so dramatic. I may not go anywhere near that one.
Yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal, Maria Bello, Paul Dano, they're just piling on Terrence Howard. They're piling on the names, and I think it looks pretty good.
Yeah, it's like an actor's dream.
Yeah, and that's the big release this week. Now, opening in limited release this week and going wider next week is Rush. Jesus Christ. Okay, stop it. This is the...
Slapping the bass.
This is the story...
Beat that dog, Benny.
This is the story of Indy race car legends James Hunt and Niki Lauda. You remember them, probably, don't you?
No.
Of course.
No.
You do.
No.
Well,
I'm
these
playing
are
along. Paul.
What?
These guys are rock star like Formula One race car drivers whose fierce rivalry on the track catapulted the sport of IndyCar racing
I
into
don't
the
think I was alive then.
worldwide fame. And you don't
Those guys go on.
during the
Paul.
70s,
I don't
the
know.
funny-looking cars, the two guys that were always racing each other. You remember?
I don't know.
They probably should make
Celebrity
a movie about
racers?
This. Yeah.
Okay, well, Ron,
Battle of the Network Stars?
you don't remember.
Okay.
Yet Ron Howard begs to differ.
It wasn't a great story.
Okay, well, shut up, Ron Howard. That doesn't help it. Or not. Let's preview Rush.
If I had my time again, I would do it all the same. And I'd change a single thing.
That's my jam.
Ah, where's the other
93
Rush?
style, baby.
Well, Paul, we should say right up front that this film is not to be confused with the 1991 drug abuse film with the same name, of course, starring Jason Patrick and Jennifer Jason Leigh.
Right, or the Emran Hashmi film made in India back in 2012 with the same title.
And, well, let's be honest, Paul, I think Ashraf Bhantia was actually the star of that particular film.
That's
so.
true, Lee. And even I was shocked to see that despite the presence of Neha Dupia, the film didn't get too wide a release.
Well, you're right, but this Rush...
Oh, Jesus. It's stopped that.
is in fact another indie racing car drama, much like the 2001 Rennie Harlan film Driven. But will Chris Hemsworth impress enough to be the next Kip Pardue? Well, time will tell.
Indeed. This film is directed by Ron Howard, the director of A Beautiful Mind and Frost Nixon. Turns out demand was low for a racing movie by Ron Howard, the director of Ed TV and Willow.
Guess who liked that idea?
Ron for chiming in.
Oh, Ron, it's nice.
Big
he's
get there,
participating.
Ron Howard.
That was good. That's good. I'm glad he could join us.
Now, before you go thinking that a story about race car drivers couldn't be important, please remember it's written by Peter Morgan, writer of The Last King of Scotland and The Queen. So you know it's important.
Indeed it is. Rush contains all the drama that can be mustered from men driving in a circle. Because driving around in a circle is just a day at the mall unless you do it real fast. And here is a clip. That's Lee.
For those of you playing along at home, drink with the Rockford Falls reference.
Yes, thank you, Lee, for the reference.
Now, let's help the listener who might be asking, what exactly is IndyCar racing? Well, think of NASCAR, but with teeth. No, literally, people with teeth. And
Oh, okay.
then champagne instead of Budweiser.
Yeah, this is one of those movie trailers that's like a car crash. You just can't look away. And then there's a car crash in the trailer.
It's set in 1976, so you can expect a lot of smoking in hospitals. Rush...
Oh, God, help me.
as we mentioned, tells the story of James Hunt and Niki Lauda, two Grand Prix racers whose competitive rivalry led to self-destruction, including a crash that left Lauda in a coma, severely burned, and without his right ear or eyelids,
Oh, God.
leaving him completely unable to let people know when he was joking.
Makes me wonder if calling this Rush helps make it seem courageous to race a car around in a track at high speeds, knowing you could get injured or die. Then again, Fool's Gold was already taken as a title.
In the rivalry between Hunt and Lauda, well, it's actually kind of spooky to watch two guys almost bite the dust and then agree to get into a race against one another one more time. I guess the title Death Wish would have made more sense, but it was already taken.
That was taken as well, I see. Well, Rush stars Chris Hemsworth as James Hunt, god of motorsports. And Daniel Bruhl
Hi, I'm Captain Steve Brule.
from Inglourious Bastards as Niki Lauda, the final solution of Formula One.
Now, much like Apollo 13, we know how this movie ends. You see, Ron Howard doesn't like making movies where he has to think up the endings, or the beginnings, or the middles for that matter, or plot lines, or characters, or names of
I know,
people.
damn, why aren't we making this movie and make it sound so easy?
It sure is.
All right, there you go.
remind me to make sure that Sandy Marshall listens to the show. Big Rush fan. Hi, Sandy.
Friend of the show.
Friend of the show. Sandy Marshall, friend of the show.
I gotta be honest with you. There was a lot more rocking out in that segment than I was prepared for.
I gotta say
was awesome.
My neck hurts.
Thought you guys might have lost your headset.
I don't know a lot about this movie, but I do have a question about Rush. So we have Geddy Lee, who does bass and keys.
Correct.
And so Alex Lifeson,
Lead
he's
vocals.
just and sings. And Alex is just on guitar. Does he ever play the keys?
No.
Okay, good.
This was your question about Rush.
Yeah.
Well, I noticed we didn't play "Take the Long Way Home." That was for
Okay,
that was for
that
you,
is
Karen.
not-
That was for you, Karen.
I still don't know who that is. That's like
Is that
Dixie
Styx?
Chicks,
It's not-
right?
No, it's Styx, isn't it? Styx.
Take the long way home?
Supertramp.
Supertramp.
Oh,
It's
Take the
Supertramp.
Long Way
She's
Home.
good.
Sounds Rushy.
Thank you, Jamie.
If
Unbelievable.
I was about to say Steve Miller Band, would I have been off?
No,
You
Nobody
would have been in the
would've known.
genre.
Sort
You would have
of
been in the
the same.
category of
Yeah.
classic rock.
yeah.
But back to the film,
Oh,
Rush.
I'm
Yes,
sorry.
we are the movie guys,
All
after
right.
all. This movie, first of all, you hear about Ron Howard movie coming out in September, and you think to yourself, well, he's not going for big box office, and they're not going for critical accolades that you would get in a December release, so it must be bad. Is my original thought. However,
Good reviews,
you can always get behind Ron Howard as this has a shot of being awesome, and the reviews are fantastic.
Yeah.
So that's the thing I was going to say.
And it's going to be very Ron Howardy.
Yeah.
Well, that's it's interesting you say Ron Howardy because there is no such thing as Ron Howardy.
I think
you
so,
cannot
there is.
actually look at any movie and go, "Oh, that's a Ron Howard move."
Apollo 13 is such a Ron Howardy movie.
Based on
it's
what?
emotional.
Night Shift?
Based
I
on
would say
what?
it's
Based on
different than
Gung-Ho?
Gung-Ho.
Yeah,
That's a
exactly.
very Ron Howardy movie.
Is
Oh,
it?
but they're different. They're so different.
Is it because Gung Ho doesn't have anything in common with Ransom?
They all seem to have a nice polish to them.
All right.
Okay,
no,
he
that's
has
true.
he has top notch
Yeah.
technical aspects to his movies.
Yeah, well, that's the difference. You said it's an Indy car movie, and at first I thought, oh, that's just a racing car movie with a lower budget, right? Anyway, no. I think what really
You meant NASCAR with a lower budget.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry,
You're so
Indy?
cute how you always
Indy,
confuse
yeah.
those.
Indy car, yeah, okay.
What was it? Cigarette racing versus
Yeah, I just call it.
versus
I just
champagne
call it
racing.
cigarette racing versus champagne racing.
champagne racing. Yeah. So it's champagne racing with a lower budget. Cigarette racing.
There you go.
But you know what's I think really is the trademark of Ron Howard is because each movie I think he slightly changes his style a little bit. I think he really adapts to what the movie's about in a really cool way and draws out of his movies. Sort of the essence of them, and then puts that into the style. So I think two really good examples are Ransom and The Paper that I really
all I'm
noticed
trying
it.
to say. That's exactly what I meant when
that's
I said Ron Howardy. That's what I meant.
You know what?
So in a
you
way
know what
it's-
you
Oh, okay.
expect.
So in a way, it's a compliment because he's a chameleon.
What
he's
Lisa.
able to take his filmmaking and change it to suit the type of movie he's making, the story that he's
Oh,
making.
hey, wait a second. I forgot to do this. We're
Yeah?
moving the entire show to the interior of a racetrack for our
Oh,
discussion.
Oh.
that's
yeah.
a
I
good
forgot to
idea.
mention that. So,
We are on the
We're live
infield.
from the
So we get that
all
feeling.
right, continue. Go ahead.
All right.
from the pit. We will continue talking about this. Now,
All right.
for some reason, the two I noted, I decided to pay attention to what Ron Howard was really doing.
Yeah.
Was The Paper and Ransom.
The
Right.
Paper, I don't know that one.
Not his most well-known movies, but there is a completely different style in both of those that befits the tone of those two movies.
I feel like wind going
We're gonna
by.
get letters. We're
Yeah.
gonna get letters
Woo.
because this is not accurate.
Uh-oh.
But we're not actually at a racetrack.
End of thought.
Wait, the
At least we
Paper,
can't hear
I
the
need to
cricket.
see that. We're drowning out that fucking cricket if it's the last thing we do.
By the way, that's not just a cricket. That's actually our mascot. If you do hear a cricket, that's Criminy.
Criminy Cricket, the crime-fighting cricket.
Crime fighting cricket.
He's got an English accent.
He's gonna show up.
Criminy.
Damn it! If you're going to show up for every show, we're going to give you a name after a while.
Yeah.
You did that for me. I appreciate
That's
it.
right, Lee.
No, wait a minute, Lee. You're a racing guy, right? You consider yourself a racing guy.
Yes, I'm a bit of a car guy.
I
yes.
looked up on the old IMDb, whatever they call it, where the kids look up movie information,
The MDib.
and it
IMDb.
said that, and it said that Grand Prix, and it was spelled GARND space PRIX.
Yeah.
Now, but I've heard Grand Prix without the D at the end of Grand. What is
Well,
the deal?
if you're
there?
an arrogant prick, you call it Grand Prix.
Okay, so that's like
Is
European.
Who's that dickhead that's doing the race?
I can't extrapolate on that right
All
now.
right, never mind.
I'll explain why later.
Oh, okay. You doing a bit? All right.
He's got inside information about dickheads.
Are you about to call a professional racer a dickhead on the
No,
air?
but
It's what people are doing to their television every weekend.
Yeah.
it's
Yelling at
confusing
people.
because remember Hans Blix?
No.
The Korean
Well, the
weapons
UN
inspector?
Yeah, the
No,
UN,
Hans Bleed?
Yeah.
UN,
Oh, wait, I'm sorry, the Middle Eastern weapons inspector for the
UN
UN.
weapons inspector
Yes.
Hans Blix spells his name Blix, and people want to go
Prix.
Grand Prix racing,
Yeah.
but you do Grand Prix. Yes,
So you're saying it's Hans Blee.
it's Hans Bleed
Is that
in the
like the same
Hans
as
Bleed in the Grand Prix.
That's
what
like-
we're saying.
I'm so glad
Boehner?
we went to you for the.
That's like Boehner being Boner, right? And he just
Next time
says
you
it
make a good point
differently.
like that, just say Lee Caius reporting.
Has the cloud lifted? Are we all clear now?
Or whatever
Thank
name
you.
we're going to give you
The
going
Cloud
forward.
Atlas has been lifted,
I thought it was criminy.
and
Criminy?
confusion has been added, just like in Cloud Atlas.
No, it is technically Grand Prix. And then Grand Prix
All right, for the love of
is
God.
the Grand Prix is the NASCAR pronunciation of.
Okay,
Grand
well, so you're, now you sound like an authority on this. So is it Grand Marnier? It's
Grand Marnier.
Grand Marnier. Okay.
It's booze.
I feel like I'm gonna get hit by something. Oh my God! This must be how Frogger feels,
Oh, yeah, that's
right?
a good point.
And now it planes coming over. It's crazy.
That's how Frogger feels. Is that what you just?
I love it. I love that you just took it there. This must be how Frogger feels.
I just said.
This must be how Donkey Kong feels. Remember that time we were in that street and those
And it-
barrels started coming off
yes.
that truck? Yeah.
I climbed 3 flights of stairs at work today. This must be what Donkey
This must
Kong
be
feels.
what Donkey Kong feels like.
Am I wrong?
No, it's great.
All right.
This must be how
How
Pac-Man feels.
Berserk feels.
Crazy climber.
I didn't mean to intrude. Yeah. All right.
You just bust through the
Listen,
wall.
we've talked a lot about the differences between Indy car racing and stock car racing.
I think we
came to
did.
no conclusion.
No.
But
Cigarette
one
and
major
champagne.
difference
What?
Yes.
is the names of the people involved in each sport.
Oh, yes.
All right. Now, Indy car names sound more prestigious, like Mario Andretti or Helio Castroneves.
Whoa.
Whereas
nice.
NASCAR drivers sound more, I don't know, down home, like Dale Jarrett and Jeff Bodine.
Dick Trickle.
Right, but you two can figure out your Indy car or NASCAR driver name. It's pretty simple.
Cool.
Now, have you done that for your porn star name? Have you ever done that?
Oh,
I
yeah. What's
think
the
so.
formula for that?
Yeah, I
Your
It's like your...
your dog's name
Dog.
when you were a kid.
and the street,
Street
you
you
grew up on. So I was Daisy Thornton.
Nice.
Daisy
A
Thornton.
little hard edged at the end.
If I
Daisy's
would
good,
have
though.
to, I'd have to
Thornton.
I'd have to be a female porn. Mine was Brittany Nottingham.
That's
But
a good one.
I would like to go on record and lay claim to Ranch Durkins.
Ooh.
I came up with that a while ago, and if ever I was
You
to be
know, that makes me think
You'd
that
have
your
to-
penis has something like
Yeah.
white and
Ranch
gooey on
Durkins.
it. You know,
Ooh, that's
like
actually,
a,
you're right. That's actually
right?
kind of a terrible
I'm a bit of a saucy guy.
You don't know. Wrong sauce, right?
Patent pending, Ranch Durkins.
Or listen, with the help of a new website I have here
All
on
right.
the old computer.
Frida Stillwell Beckett was mine. It's like
What
a
was
married
it?
name.
What is it?
That's what would be my porn name.
Frida?
Frida Stillwell Beckett.
That sounds like a
Like she got
novelist.
married.
You know what?
Is
It's
there a single porn actress who has a hyphenated last
Hyphenated
name?
name to make sure everybody knows she got married.
it just sounds like she'd be a pilgrim, like in a pilgrim outfit. It just seems
Sandy
buttoned up.
Canyons Miller.
Sully Miller's patting himself on the back.
Yeah,
That's
like
my
a
girl.
totally
That's her.
dirty name, but then with like a hyphen and then like a legitimate
Anderson.
last name.
Van
It's like-
Buren.
yeah, it's like Laurel Canyon or whatever.
Cindy Cummings.
Peaks. Yeah,
Green.
yeah.
Vanderbilt.
Tiffany Peaks Johnson.
Yep.
Now, listen, the NASCAR game is as you imagine, very simple to do. If you want to have a name the likes of Marvin Panch or Ricky Rudd, all you need is your favorite snack chip and a city in Florida. That's how you figure
Easy.
it out. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
then the computer website here, mine will
right.
generate a NASCAR name for you. I'm going to try it first. So my favorite snack chip, I'm partial to Pringles. I don't know about you
I
guys.
like
They put
Pringles.
sugar on them. And
Oh,
a
that's
city
why I like
in
Ketchup.
Florida, I have an aunt in Clearwater, so I'm going to go with Pringles and Clearwater. Let's see what the website says will be my NASCAR name. Pringles Clearwater.
Oh.
See, now there you go.
Oh, that's easy.
That's pretty clever. There's a whole website to do that for you.
That's amazing.
That actually
okay.
sounds like a good NASCAR name.
Yeah.
Pringles Clearwater. See, that was fun. Now let's go around and see what everyone else has.
All right, so what is it again? It's
Your favorite snack chip.
oh, okay. All right, so I'll go Funyuns.
Fun. All right, and a city in Florida.
Just pick it. Oh, well, Orlando, Walt Disney.
Oh, go
Yeah,
big.
that's
There you
easy.
go.
Okay,
Let's
so-
see what we have.
What's mine?
Orlando Funyuns.
Oh!
It's kind of easy to predict.
Yeah, it's not so bad.
Yeah, I don't know if we need a whole website. For
Oh,
that, but
they've
that's-
got a whole algorithm going.
Okay.
Did they actually?
What
Yeah.
do you got, Lee? Give me your favorite snack chip.
Algorithm. Now that is not a NASCAR name. That is more of a.
That's like a Motown guy. Yeah.
We'll see if the system can handle this because I'm going to go slightly out of snack chip
Oh.
realm because I don't think bugles are a snack
That's a
chip.
snack chip.
Yeah, it's crunchy,
Okay.
right?
It's a tasty
so
chip.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna go with-
they've widened the shape parameters to be included in the snack
like
chip
Okay, so-
genre.
It's like a cone.
I'm going to go with bugles, and we used to vacation down in Delray Beach, so I'm going to go with that.
All right, let's see.
Oh,
What we
what
got.
does it say?
Bugle Del Rey.
Oh, wow, there you go.
Holy cow! That is amazing.
Isn't that brilliant?
I
That's
like,
a man that's going to be in the winner's circle a lot. Let me
Yeah.
tell you.
It's as entertaining as it is predictable.
and it's easy. That's
Karen.
good. Yes.
Well, give me a place in Florida.
Canaveral. I've actually been there.
That's right. We used to
Okay,
sail
Used
out
to
of there.
sail out of there.
All right. And a snack chip.
I like doodads.
Oh, it's like a bag of snack chips.
That's really pushing the boundaries. I thought
It's
bugles
plural.
was
It
on
probably does plural.
Well,
Try
let's
plural.
see what let's see. It'll reject it if it doesn't take it.
Oh,
But I
yeah.
imagine
don't-
it'll probably
why
take
don't
it.
be the one rejected?
All right, here we go. Doodad Canaveral.
Whoa, geez.
You're winner of the Brickyard 400. Doodad Canaveral.
It makes sense, and I could easily see those sponsors being on the side of a car.
That's the thing. It makes sense for NASCAR. Now, it's a bit more complex of a process to come up with a prestigious Eurocentric Indy Car driver name. You ever play the Star Wars name generator game?
You had mentioned this. the
Yeah,
other
now
night.
what is this
I
again?
haven't-
No, I
Very
never did.
complicated, and
It's-
so is the Indy one. But we'll lead in with the Star Wars one. It's your first 3 letters of your last name. Write it down if you have to.
Already you've
First
lost.
3 letters of your last
All
name.
My
right.
last name.
And then the first 2 letters of your first name.
Okay.
First 2 letters of your first name.
And then the first 2 letters of your mother's maiden name.
Oh, Lord.
First or
Okay.
last? Oh, maiden name is last.
Right.
Maiden name's last.
I like how they say maiden name. Like her married name would not give you a Star Wars character.
Not
All
a
right, what's
chance.
the
Not a
last one?
chance. Not a chance.
There's no freaking way.
And then the last 3 letters of your hometown that you grew up in.
Oh,
3 letters
I don't know.
of
Mailing
hometown?
address or school district?
The town. What I mean?
School district. Parish.
Even if it's a P.O. box, it still goes to a town. So put the town's last 3.
All right.
Mine
Okay.
is mine is Pre-Pa Wenta.
Now, do we do those in?
And that
in
sounds
order?
like a
sounds
Star Wars.
good.
Sounds like you can
Yeah.
meet him in
Yeah, you're right.
in the whole deal there on Tatooine.
Go ahead.
Do we say them in order that you've given them?
Yes.
You don't have to. Okay.
It's 2 words, each 2 syllables for each.
Oh,
So-
Kayaba Semria.
That's a Star Wars
That's a
name.
Star
good
Wars
name.
It
Kayaba
works. Say what
Semria.
you want about it.
You know what's funny? As I'm going to do, because I just bitched about it, that I'm going to do my mother's married name after it, and it doesn't work.
Oh,
Check this
really?
out.
Okay, go ahead.
So
Sandy
my Star Wars.
Canyons Miller. Adam's come up with
Mine is Wittad Kaord.
Ooh.
Ted
Yeah.
Kapoor.
And
Married
it's probably
name?
probably an apostrophe in there. Ka-ord, right?
Yeah.
Just to-
Whereas the married name would be Wittad Boward. Boward, not a Star
No.
Wars name.
Boward. That's an
That's
NASCAR
like
name.
a
Kaord.
That's a-
yeah.
So
Boward, you're right.
You're right.
Pretzel Rod.
That's
Doward.
Florida. Boward, Florida. Isn't it
has-
Boward County?
Pretzel Rod Broward.
Broward.
Your winner of the
Pretzel
the
Rod
Daytona
Broward.
500.
Hilarious.
All right, what do you got? Karen?
Volca Ekrek.
Absolutely.
If it doesn't make any sense, then that's your Star Wars.
I would absolutely fear that person on a desert planet.
So
Good.
I will tell you right away that the Indy Car name generator is a little more complex than
Oh.
NASCAR, but we'll do it as a group, okay? So we'll just come up with one
power
big
through this.
name. All right. Now, first, Adam, go ahead and give me the first letter of your mom's new remarried last name.
That is specific.
Okay. Well, that's Bowman. So
Bowman,
it's,
as you
yeah.
said. So we're going with the B. All right.
B.
And Lee, can I get from you the 5th letter of the title of your favorite Steve Buscemi movie?
Well, that's easy. That's Fargo. So O.
There you go.
Yeah.
You got just squeezed in the 5-letter requirement. Nice. Now, Karen, I need the first letter of the name or the town or city that you were born in. Says here I can't take a parish though, but a municipality works.
Okay, so this is the thing I was talking about. Like I have a mailing address. It's an unincorporated municipality.
That'll work.
but-
That'll work.
Oh, okay. So Bates.
Bates, so that's a B.
Yep.
All right. Now for the 4th letter, you just repeat number 3, so it's another B.
That's a lot of typing to put a
These are
B
very
in.
specific things you got to
Formula,
do.
it's very
now,
specific.
Adam, think,
All right.
think of your favorite adverb, Adam.
Oh, I got it.
Now the last letter of that word.
Y. Don't all adverbs end in a Y?
Yeah, they do. All right. All right. Got it.
All
Now,
right, well.
Lee, think of your dog's name, Lee.
All right.
Now, give me the name of the second letter of the name of the street, avenue, or lane your dog grew up on.
Okay. So that's Brewster. So R.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. Karen, I need your bra size.
C.
Oh, Karen.
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 A.
All right. And Karen, what is
Yes.
the 8th letter of the alphabet?
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. H!
All right, almost
It's
there. Now,
always
Lee.
that,
didn't know
It's always
that.
H.
Lee, I need the phonetic spelling of your favorite Canadian expression.
A?
All right. And lastly,
We do have Rush on the show
Adam,
this week.
I need the first letter of your favorite Viking.
Oh, that's easy. Fran Tarkenton.
No. not NFL Viking, but historically your favorite Viking.
Oh, that's hard. So many to choose from. I mean, of course, there's Gardar Svarson. Maybe, he discovered Iceland. But, I've never been there, so I don't really know if that's an achievement. How about Ivar the Boneless, conqueror of York? You know what? Screw it. Let's go with the popular one. Let's go Leif Erikson. All right? I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly. All right, we're going to go with L for that. All right. I do type a lot for one letter. But with these simple methods, you've each contributed a letter to the Indy Car name generator, and we're going to put all
cool.
those
What's
letters
the name?
together. Let's see what
I
they've
know.
come up with.
All right.
Bobby Rahal.
No. Well, the system works. He's actually a guy.
Oh!
Bobby Rahal.
Who would have known? Let's review real quick. What are the steps
No!
called?
That was a little complex, but I imagine this game's going to get a lot of play at parties and bars, and they'll be playing this all over the place. The
It's
Indy
so
Car name
easy to
generator?
remember.
All right, enough tomfoolery. We're going to take a quick break, literally 10 seconds or so on your end, and we'll be back with our special guest this week, Andy Peters. So hold tight.
Change up.
All right, we are back and joined by our special guest. He is the host of a travel podcast on SoundCloud called Wandertown. Watertown was a place I grew up near, but it's called Wandertown.
Watertown was my first choice.
Yes. Plus, he's a stand-up comic who performs all over and is also featured on True TV's Clipaholics. Please welcome Andy Peters.
Hey!
Peters. Thanks for
Hi,
joining us.
guys. Hi, guys.
That would be a funny thing to do. Watertown, and it's just a podcast where you interview people and you ask them, "Are you from Watertown?" And if they're not, you move on until you just get someone.
Get a lot of tourists in Watertown, do you?
Or you could do Batavia, or wait, no, Geneva. There's like a Geneva in every.
Geneva,
I know
Ohio.
Springfield's already
Yeah.
taken by the
Springfield,
Simpsons.
yeah.
There's like
Geneva?
a Geneva in nearly every state. So you could do.
I'm from Monroe, Michigan, and I heard Monroe is a
Monroes.
place where there's a lot of Monroes.
a lot of Monroes. So Monroe, the next
Monroe.
next big podcast.
Oh, stay away from my daughter.
Stay away from my daughters. All right, now before we get too far, actually,
All
I want
right,
to crank
yes.
out. I want to crank out Andy's NASCAR name.
Oh,
I've been
All
thinking
right.
a lot about this.
All right, you've been listening in. So can I get your favorite snack chip?
Big Munchos fan. I like
Munchos.
the Munchos.
Munchos.
The
I
salty
like-
chip, the Munchos?
Yeah.
I like the packaging, too.
They're
Yes.
really not unlike potato chips, but they're Munchos.
No,
All
but
right.
they make that noise when you put them on your tongue on the right side up. You know
That's
what I'm
right.
talking
It's
about?
weird.
The salty side up, they make a crack.
What are they made of?
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know
yeah.
this thing.
Like cosmic candy when we were growing up. that
Yeah,
Pop
yeah, they make a
Rocks?
crackle poppy
Don't
thing.
drink a soda with those. Your stomach will
Kill
explode.
yourself.
There is
Mike,
not a
happened to
single-
Mikey from Life Cereal, man.
Oh
It's all
God,
the
that
same.
whole thing. All right, so now give me your favorite city in Florida.
Okay, now we used to go here, West Palm Beach.
West Palm Beach. Let me punch that in.
All right.
Munchos, West Palm Beach.
Yeah,
Oh, that's very nice.
Munchos, West Palm Beach.
You know, yours is a little higher end
thing's
than
good.
ours.
All right, let's do your
Yeah.
IndyCar name. We just need your
Oh,
mom's
no,
remarried.
no, 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 no,
Yeah,
no, no. We don't have all night. All right.
He doesn't have a favorite Steve Buscemi movie. It wouldn't
That
work.
won't work.
What's the 8th letter of the alphabet?
He doesn't have. Look at his bra size, please. All right.
No, it's Karen's bra size.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
it's
always
always your
mine.
It's
It's
always the 8th
always-
letter and always.
Oh yeah,
Karen's.
people play this in Maine. They're just still going
Using
back
mine.
from memory. Your bra size.
They need
Thank you.
Karen's bra size.
Yeah, if they saw the show, they can guesstimate.
Shut up, everyone.
The A cup joke was funny, but for anybody watching on YouTube, it's so not true.
Thank you,
It's
Adam.
a C. All right.
I'll pay you later.
I've been there. It's here's the deal. Let's not waste any time. It's a big 3-movie weekend, and this next one is loaded with stars like Jake Gyllenhaal and Maria Bello. Headlining things is Hugh Jackman, occupying a September movie star time slot, otherwise taken up by Gerard Butler.
Gerard Butler reference.
I don't know. It's Prisoners, Karen. For those of you expecting more Jake Gyllenhaal anal sex, it should be noted that Prisoners is not a story of a jail sentence, but it's pretty dark.
That sounds awesome. I wish it was about that. Anyway, yes, are you feeling too happy? Do you have too much faith in your fellow man? Well, Prisoners is a movie that offers a cure for all of that.
Prisoners tells the heart-stabbing, ripping, throwing it on the sidewalk and jumping on it a bunch tale of child abduction. If that's not enough, looks like most of it was shot in the rain. Have a nice day.
Hugh Jackman plays Keller Dover, who on Thanksgiving makes the classic 2013 parental mistake of letting his daughter do anything.
No doubt they'll blame their shaky parental skills on tryptophan or not being able to tear their eyes away from the Lions game.
What could be twice as depressing as a father who's lost a child to a kidnapping? 2, as not only does Keller's child go missing, but so does the daughter of Franklin Burt, played by an actor who's never not on the verge of crying, Terrence Howard.
For once, Terrence Howard doesn't condone the use of violence to get his way. Now, Amber Alert the Academy because the entire cast is filled with Major League ballers. Nobody cries better than Terrence Howard or Hugh Jackman in a non-superhero role, except the queen of all whalers, ugly cry specialist Viola Davis. Add in Jake Gyllenhaal and Paul Dano, and you've got a veritable who's who of boo-hoo.
Oh, nice.
And Gyllenhaal plays Loki.
Sweet Wolverine and Loki.
Enough! You are all of you beneath me. I am a god, you dull creature.
Sweet.
I'm sorry, I wasn't clear. That's Detective Loki. The name Loki gets a name redemption in this movie.
Well, the makers of Prisoners actually tested the movie's depressing effectiveness on mice who were shown the movie after being given Prozac, Ben & Jerry's, and a lap dance by Emily Redkowski, and they still all jumped on the mousetrap.
But who could be responsible for this? Maybe it was the unattractive guy with glasses driving an RV. Well, it must be him, right? I mean, the guy's no idiot.
Well, he has the IQ of a 10-year-old.
Okay, wow, that was way harsh. Very harsh.
But the real meaning of the single entendre title becomes apparent when Keller takes the suspect prisoner, played by Paul Dano, tying him to a radiator in his house to beat a confession out of him in a plot point that has Fox News giving the movie 4 stars and demanding an invasion of some country.
Will Paul Dano put the lotion in the basket? Find out September 20th in a theater near you.
All right, there we go.
Put the lotion in the basket.
You hurt my dog.
This movie
You get the hose again.
No, this movie reminds me of a sad fact of casting, which is Paul Dano's a great actor, but he gets cast a lot because he looks like that guy that might might have the IQ of a 10-year-old and still drive an RV. You know, that's.
He makes that face a lot. It's really good. What? I think there's 3 times in that trailer where they're like, "Hey, you," and he turns around and gives him.
And he's kind of half shaking, half sweating and crying.
Yeah. He's already convicted himself.
That's all he does in auditions.
Could you turn to the camera?
Karen can't handle watching William H. Macy in Fargo because she thinks he's so perfectly cast as a guy with this sunken features to the point where
so sad.
He's like
he has the face of the quintessential drunk. His nose is all big and puffy, and the features are, and then he's sweaty, and he's just gross.
and you never really see that side of that character, but behind the scenes he could be a drunk just because you cast William H. Macy.
Yeah.
Paul Dano is the William H. Macy of serial killer looking actor.
You know, you've got to have a type. At least if he's working, because they're like, who do we need for a crazy son of a bitch? Oh, that Dano guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this looks like, I think when we watched the trailer for this, it looks like you could stretch this out over 12 episodes on HBO if you didn't have such huge names to make you have to put it in theaters, right? Like you would follow this story out over long, complicated plot points like Jack Bauer, and see it come to a conclusion during 12 weeks later.
Especially the torture part.
Yeah, you could see them taking him prisoner as like episode 5 or something. And you're like, what? Whoa! Out of nowhere, right?
Yeah.
He just shows up in the basement.
It looks like they've done some top-notch detective research too. Have you seen the trailer? How Gyllenhaal's holding his gun? He's doing a tech chin approach.
Shut
gun
up.
hold. Yeah.
Is that right?
I don't know if that's how cops hold
like
guns.
He's scared
but in
it's
the
going to go
trailer-
off or something?
That's wrong, because if it does go off,
It's a techie chin
you're gonna
approach to
break
holding
your
a gun.
teeth.
Yeah,
If it kicks.
that is a good
Have
point.
you noticed that?
Yeah, that is a good point, and I wonder if that does come from ones where they did some sort of like weird training, or is that just like the actor thing of like, I think this is really how like sternly and weirdly like
He just
people
watched
hold a
Charlie's
gun.
Angels and said, "What's Cameron Diaz doing? Oh, she's doing this with her gun. It
It's
must
more
be
of a
right."
Kate Jackson move, I think.
Yeah.
Oh.
Or the detective consultant was like, "No, not badass and sideways under your chin and tucked all awkward."
Because you're all white. You
That's
can't
how
get
we
away
fight
with that.
crime.
Not a drug dealer, you're a cop.
Yeah, arms fully extended, the other arm down to the side. You're like, nah, that's not.
Too badass. That's way too badass.
It's too badass.
Take two and chuck it. Tuck it under.
we're all-
Chuck it. That's how you.
Chuck
That's
it.
chuck. That's chin tucking.
Ching tucking is chucking.
Chucking.
One
Patent
word.
pending, patent pending, patent pending.
We're all going to see this, right? I mean, this looks good.
Yeah,
right?
why not?
I am
that's too
actually
depressing.
not going to see it because it is too
Yeah,
depressing.
it looks
Really?
sad.
It
Really?
looks just so.
Is it?
There's nothing good that's going to happen, even if they find the kids, which I don't know if they do.
It's not Schindler's Listian, though, as in its
No.
depression.
Well, because no.
But you
Well,
know,
it's not a whole race
you know
of
what
people.
you're getting. You're going for something heart wrenching if
Yeah.
you're going to see it. You know.
And you're not. Okay.
But is there a chance that they find the children?
Where the
There's
hell
a
is my
chance.
baby?
Yes.
Right, where the hell's the baby?
They
I
still got
believe.
they're still.
Is it based on a true story?
I have
don't
no
think-
idea.
I don't know.
That was the joke I was going to make with Schindler's List, but I didn't.
That is based on a. You're such a dick.
That makes it all the more heart wrenching. Right?
Well,
We
you said
also
you,
know
you
the
said this
beginning
is
of the
not-
end to it.
Yeah, you said this isn't as depressing as Schindler's List. And I was going to say because this might be a true story.
Oh,
my God.
Jesus!
That's
Christ.
worse than I thought.
But I didn't
Holocaust
say
never
that.
happened, Joe.
Is he?
But I
This
didn't
guy.
say it. See, I didn't say it. 'cause I knew
Resident
that
guy
Hey,
who
you know-
says, resident guy who will say it. Lee Caius.
Hey, I'm with Lee on this one. I don't think Amber was ever kidnapped. I'm an Amber denier.
All right, screw that movie. All right, we're
All
done.
right, we're
Let's
done.
get on to the because
Screw
we
that
got
movie.
another
All
movie. Make some noise, get your hands up, show some love, and put your hands together for a movie that really knows how to tell its audience what to do. Battle of the Year, Adam. Let's talk about
this
it.
is me. Let me find my script.
Actually, you know what? With Battle of the Year, this gives us another opportunity to play another rousing round of
Guess what it's about?
Ooh.
Battle of the Year. Guess
been a
what
while.
it's about, Adam?
All of the giant robots, giant monsters, aliens, and superheroes team up to see who can murder the most citizens in the name of saving them?
No. Lee?
The war on drugs, the war on terror, the war on women, and the war on Christmas team up to declare a war on soft metaphors.
Not quite. Karen?
Okay.
A rap battle occurs in Syria?
Not so much. Let me explain. Aw Snap the Movie is the latest entry in the cinematic genre of competitive breakdancing. Okay, we dealt with that earlier. Sorry, b-boying.
B-boying, yeah.
But from Breakin' to Battle of the Year, one thing in these movies has stayed consistent. They're all hard to take seriously.
Yeah.
Remember when your dad called rap a fad and said it would die out before in a year or two? Oh, how wrong he was. But the one thing you could both agree on is that breakdancing, b-boying, whatever, it was called breakdancing back then, okay? And your dad said that would never outlast the Reagan second term. Well, not only is it back, but I think it never went away. I just stopped paying attention to it like Corey Feldman.
And just like hip-hop, breakdancing... Fuck you already. Breakdancing is now a competitive sport. What's next? Skiing?
I should explain further the point of these buzzers, Paul. Much like rap is what Dan Rather called hip-hop in 1984, breakdancing is now called b-boying. So saying breakdancing is like calling b-boying the N-word.
Wow.
Or calling stick hustle baseball. I don't know. You guys don't still call it that, do you?
No.
Stick hustle? No.
No.
We call that hit 'em and run. I used to play with ghosties, though. Remember you played?
Ghost Man on first?
Ghost
You mean your underwear?
Ghost Runner on first?
Oh, ghosties.
yeah,
Oh,
My
Ghosties.
underwear.
And
What the
what kind of game
No, I was just
are
looking
you
for like
playing?
cool terms. I call them my ghosties.
In your underwear?
All right.
Oh, that's a fart. Those are
That's a
ghosties.
ghosty.
That's the b-boy term for farting.
I left a ghosty when
Straight ghosting.
Well, here's the surprise now. Battle of the Year
to straight
tells a
ghost you,
story.
No, what?
Yes.
Hang
What?
on.
Stop
Shut
laughing.
up.
Oh, okay.
It tells a story of how America has fallen behind in b-boying technology, having finished
That and math.
having
apparently.
finished far behind other international competitors in the field. Really? America can't even finish first in throwing ourselves onto concrete?
So, a down on his luck Josh Holloway is given the plot-motivating task of using his basketball coaching skills to whip the dancers into shape to win the national finals of this contest that up until now I didn't know existed. So it's the kind of a Bad News Bears meets whatever these kids are doing.
And why haven't the USA won a dance tournament in 15 years? Korea, America's new film villain.
Korea!
Even in a dance movie, they're Gangnam styling all over our faces. And even all of the American step-up films can't touch the popularity of the Kia hamsters.
You can get with this, or you can get with.
All right, enough of that.
Oh, you could have played more of that.
Enough
I,
of
Cut
that.
that way too short.
I hate how much I love that commercial.
You can get with this, or you can get with that. You can get with this, or you can get with that. You can get with this, or you can get with that. I think you can get with this, 'cause this is kind of
Did they mess that song up though by adding hamsters to it in the commercial?
No.
No, still cool song.
Still cool.
I mean, yeah, you're right. I think
Maybe
it all
even
works.
cooler now.
Yeah. I don't know why. I like those commercials. I mean, they're stupid, but I like them. The competition shows the best stop-action dancers and their Crouching Tiger Hidden Matrix choreography. And if you think this plot description screams 3D, you're in luck.
Several dancers also appear in the cast. Ivan Flips Velez plays the
God.
character Flips. John Dunock Cruz. Or Cruz. Jesus Christ, his name is Cruz, I'm sure. Why did I say Cruz? I'm so used to like saying shit like he's got flips with a Z. I'm like, this can't possibly be pronounced
These
the way it
names
looks.
sound like
you're
there
right.
was a name generator involved.
That'd be a great nickname.
Right?
John Cruz Cruz.
Hey, you took the name Cruz from Krusty, like from some sort of potato chip. And
It does feel that way,
right?
doesn't it?
Yeah.
All right, let's see. And then I come up with John Dunock Cruz. That's the guy's name. Well, guess what? He plays a character named Dunock. Hard to believe. And Jesse
Dunock.
Casper Brown plays Rebel, which is refreshing.
If only Syria was breakdancing, we could solve all the world's problems that much faster.
Yes. Shabadoo and Boogaloo Shrimp are rolling over in their graves.
I don't think they're dead.
I was referring to their careers. All right.
Oh my God.
Does anyone know this movie's coming out? Did we just preview a movie?
Now I do.
That's why we're here. Why we're here. Andy.
Have
I
you
mean,
seen
the
him?
people who are promoting this movies, I think they would love what we're doing. Well, we're pissing on it a little bit, but
Sure.
but at least we're talking about it. Who else in America is doing that?
Have you seen one billboard or bus ad for this movie?
I think I saw.
Well, we live in Burbank, so no.
Is it really in 3D? A dancing
It
movie
is.
in 3D?
Yeah, it is.
That's the best. You need dancing to pop out at you more.
Well, maybe to keep you awake.
I guess Step Up 3 started that precedent. I think that was
Step
the
Up
3D
3.
one.
Too bad Fast Forward wasn't in 3D. We have the Fast Forward poster up for those who are listening.
1980, whatever.
4, I think.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh yeah,
Adam saw that in the
I
theater.
saw this in the theater. My mom dragged me to some weird movies. Fast Forward. And
Sure, blame it on your mom.
yeah. Weird movie. I mean, to go to.
And directed by
Sidney Poitier.
Sidney Poitier.
Really? Sidney
Yes.
Poitier did a dancing movie?
Directed Fast Forward.
I saw that movie, and the one thing I took away from it is I lived in a very small town, and I wanted to move to the city, and I wanted to, get an apartment and put furniture in it, and they did. They got this apartment, this really shitty apartment, and went down to the street and pulled up a big old nasty couch and put it in their living room. And it always bothered me because I was like, are there roaches in that couch? The whole movie, I'm like, there's probably roaches in that couch.
They never wowed you with anything else that would take your mind off of that.
I was really
But look,
concerned
they're
about
jumping.
the roaches.
Yeah, all right.
And I can see that one guy's tummy.
And they
It's
move into
crazy.
a loft, right? They paint the whole thing white, and they
Oh,
just
yeah.
run all
And
over the
they
place dancing. and
Dance
stuff. Yeah.
all the time.
Because they
dancing.
have to.
You
They
gotta
have to dance.
Their neighbors are always pissed. No, I don't know.
Is that kind of
They
like a
should have been.
post-fame sort of
Oh,
like
yeah.
Let's Dance as well?
I think at that same time.
That's another one. There are so many movies like this. Now that we open up this discussion,
Yes, you do.
just thinking about the
Beat Street.
pantheon of Beat Street.
Beat Street, the king of the beat.
Step
I
Up.
saw Beat
Step
Street.
Up 2. Is that called To the Street?
To the
Step Up to
Streets?
the
Step
Street.
Up to the streets.
Yeah.
Step Up 3D.
3D.
I love, and I might mean hate when I say that,
Yes.
movies that use the 2 as the word TO in a title. I mean,
Yeah.
that's like Teen Wolf 2,
It's just
but like
incorrect.
a different version. A
What
hipper
about
version.
your
As well as?
What
As
about
well
your
as the streets.
electric boogaloo thing?
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, this is the topic I wanted to bring up because I don't think I ever saw Breakin'. I saw Beat Street. What hip hop? I'm sorry. What b-boying movies is the
Thank you.
crowd seeing here?
I saw Breakin'.
Breakin'. I've seen Breakin' 2. What's the one that's Electric Boogaloo?
That's
yeah,
Breakin'
that's
2.
true.
Breakin' 2
Breakin' 2.
Electric Boogaloo.
So,
yeah.
you did see
I've
Breakin'
seen.
2.
Oh, I haven't seen Breakin' 1. I've seen Breakin' 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Okay, I've only seen.
How did you get through it, not knowing?
Not
You've seen
knowing
the
what-
first one.
That was my question the whole time. What is happening in this
And
movie?
are there cockroaches in their apartment?
Yeah.
Those are his 2 questions. Anyway.
So I have only seen of all the original b-boy movies of '83,
Mm-hmm.
the b-boy invasion of '83, much like the Australian movie invasion of '87, right? Like just all of a sudden there was Australians on our screen all the time.
Beyond Thunderdome, yes.
Yeah, exactly. So I saw Beat Street in Winter Haven, Florida, in an all-black theater, and it was the only 2 white 13-year-old kids
Certainly.
there. Survived getting some things thrown at me there. It was a weird crowd, but they were all going to see Beat Street.
Not for nothing, Popcorn Winter Haven, my favorite NASCAR movie.
Hell yes.
Popcorn Winter Haven.
That is a callback.
Continue.
Anyway, but I've always wondered about Breakin' 2, The Electric Boogaloo, because it's such a specific title.
Yeah.
Now, I never saw Breakin', but I was always fascinated. Actually, a friend of our family wanted to go see what she thought was a double feature, Breakin' 2 and The Electric Boogaloo. That always stuck with me.
She's adorable.
But it's so specific that I've always wondered, I've always wanted to see why is it so fucking important to mention the Electric Boogaloo? What is the Electric Boogaloo? Now, has anybody here seen Breakin' 2?
I've seen it
I've
a
seen
dozen
it,
times.
and I can't remember
real?
what the Electric Boogaloo part
Couldn't.
is.
Same here. I
So
have
what's
no
the big
idea.
deal with the Electric Boogaloo?
My thought, because I didn't see it, but my thought was, is it like the Electric Horseman, where suddenly when it's time for Boogaloo Shrimp to get his beat on and win the competition that no doubt there is in this movie.
That no doubt there
That he
is.
has to go in full electric duds,
Well, that's how
top
they
to
saved
bottom,
the community center.
He has to light up and he becomes like Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah.
You know?
I want to see one of these movies where they're all just collectively like, we're all really great at dancing, and they just dance together and forgo the competition.
Right?
Like, we all get participatory ribbons, and we're just good at dancing.
They get that in the first 5 minutes and then another 85. Yeah.
We don't need to compete with each other. You're doing a pop lock thing. I'm doing a head spinny thing.
Speaking of which,
Tomato.
Hey, what you say in Act 3? Let's do it at your place.
speaking of Mitch,
Come on in here,
I
Mitch.
didn't mention Mitch at all. Speaking of which, why is it that we are underdogs in a dance competition in this movie? They haven't won for 15 years. Didn't we like
mean white
invent
people?
all that? USA, the USA.
Oh, America.
The melting
movie
pot that is
guys.
the USA.
The movie guys have never won a
You
break.
mean this table?
Be
Well,
ballin'.
we're not good at a lot of stuff.
Also, the one thing, the only thing I want to say that I like about dance movies is that you can't auto-tune dancing. I mean, I know in the movies you can maybe put a wire or something like that, a couple of special effects, but when you see people dance in real life,
Yeah.
you can't fake that crap. They're dancing or they're not. They're together or they're not. They know
Channing
it.
Tatum did it. Channing
Right?
Tatum did it.
Right.
Absolutely.
Did
There
he?
you
He did.
Yeah.
He did.
No, he
Dancing
was like an
movie. He was
actual
good,
beat.
yeah.
One of them step-ups.
I think they used the same technology in that movie that they used for
First one.
Lieutenant Dan's legs in Forrest Gump.
So they faked it
Green
on.
screen dance legs.
fake legs, man. After I saw Forrest Gump, I said to myself, I'm never trusting anything I ever see in a movie again.
Yeah.
I really
Yeah,
walked
that's
out of
the
that
one.
movie thinking, holy crap, Gary Sinise doesn't have any feet? Poor guy lost both his legs.
Yeah. That was amazing.
How'd they do
I
that?
just don't
All
know
right,
how
around
they
the
do it.
table, what made you lose faith in movies? Ordinary people.
Lieutenant Dan.
Well, back to that. What countries are good at dancing?
Well, this-
Because America's
China.
not good.
They say
China
Korea
is.
here because, and listen, I videotaped a bunch of dance shows up at City Walk at Universal. They have like World of Dance show up, and it's just a bunch of people doing dance routines. And the Asians are
Yeah.
crazy good. They
Yeah.
bounce and
They're
flip
so
all over the
fucking good
place.
at everything.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, you know why? They have a low center of gravity.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, this is just as good as they were at acrobatics. You know, when you see like the Chinese acrobat
Yeah,
troupe tour
yeah.
around or show up at Barnum Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey, they're good. They can do these same type of flips in a dance and pop and lock.
Yeah, maybe
and
it's akin to
crazy.
martial arts. I mean,
Yeah.
this is like
Yeah.
one step away from
Yeah.
martial arts,
Yeah.
right?
Well, there's a guy on America's Got Talent right now that combines martial arts and dance, and he does this thing with a jacket where it looks like his head pops down into the middle of the jacket like a robot.
Yeah.
And that's
that-
impressive.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
too full of corn syrup to get that type of stuff done. These guys are eating rice and bouncing all over the stage, kicking our ass
Yeah.
in the damn fake dance contest.
Halfway through, we're just like,
I know, right?
oh, someone hand me my e-cigarette. Where are my e-cigarette?
Where are my bugles, doodads, and funyuns?
There's a shot in this movie of Chris Brown training because he's in this.
He's in
And-
this?
Yeah, and one of the shots, he's like punching a punching bag, getting ready for the thing.
That's how he trains.
You just shouldn't show Chris Brown punching anything in a trailer.
Where is his PR department? Yeah.
Oh no, he had gloves on,
Because
so
you
they must be
know,
thinking, no.
Once-
He calls those vocal warm-ups.
right?
Putting in time on a speed bag.
He just
Ew.
needs a guy behind the bag holding it and mouthing off to him like a girl.
Once that movie gets released and people can get a hold of that footage, you know they're just going to superimpose her face right on that damn bag.
I predict a mashup.
Not
And I would
good.
also like to call out an actor who's in this. His name is Josh Peck. And
Call him out.
Wow, you
Josh
mad at him?
Peck, I call you out.
My name.
I guess he came from some Nickelodeon
Coming right
stuff.
at you, Josh Peck. I don't know who's Josh Peck.
Ridiculous
We don't
here.
pull no punches.
Sorry.
We're
Did
going
anyone-
after Josh Peck.
Did you see Red Dawn, the remake of Red Dawn?
No.
Did you see it, Adam?
No.
I'm America, so no.
That's true. Yeah, good point.
Well, I didn't see it because it's either the original or nothing.
Yeah.
Wow.
John Peck
I
was
didn't
in the
even
new one. He was
purchase it.
terrible.
Yeah.
I had to see that movie, and he was
Oh,
terrible.
I guess I would see that for Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, who looked like, Daniel Day-Lewis in that cast.
Yeah.
And he's good and all, but, I mean, he looked brilliant next to Josh Peck and the other guys in that movie.
He's my first favorite Hemsworth.
Peck, you son of a
This
bitch.
guy
I know,
just
how
loves
dare
saying
he?
stuff all lazy. He's like, with every line he says. He would say,
Comes from the Keanu Reeves school of
cool breeze.
That's
drama.
Breeze.
Cool Breeze.
Cool breeze, school
That's
of
what we call
acting.
Keanu.
Cool Breeze, Josh Peck. What's his name?
Josh Peck.
Josh Peck.
Cool
Now,
Breeze
Josh
Peck.
Poor
You can
Josh.
believe Mr. Pecker.
My name is Peck.
Yeah,
Is he
It's
dance?
true.
Does he dance in this movie?
I guess he does.
Is
and
he
who
Cool
knew?
Breeze is dancing? Just
Right?
nonchalant shoulder rolls.
Every
takes
line he
forever.
said like this.
We're all doing something else, Peck.
That's a good thought. I just had a funny thought about
We're popping and locking,
We've,
Peck.
we've done that 5 minutes ago. We've moved on.
Come on, Peck. Keep up.
Keep up, Peck. Keep up.
I just had a funny thought because they have to cast this movie. So some of them obviously are professional dancers, and I think they shot. And that's the one thing I would say about this movie is like,
Oh, yeah, Dunock
I mean,
and-
they make breakdancing super cool, and breakdancing was like immediately a parody, kind of itself. That's became all the KTEL breakdancing videos and records with the. Oh, sorry, beep. Yeah,
Thank you. Be blank.
Be boring. I
But
almost said
but they make it
b-balling.
look cool. But how funny is this? Like when you cast it, because I doubt Peck knows how to b-boy.
Okay. Who knows?
But
He comes out of Disney or Nickelodeon, one of
But,
them. So.
but every headshot,
probably required.
but every headshot that gets submitted for any role always has their roles they played, and then at the bottom it always says martial arts. Or but how funny it would be to cast this movie as like, I just turn the resumes over and look at the very bottom and see if they've got modern dance.
Check, you're into the next
You're
round.
into. Oh, thank God, I put that at the bottom of my resume.
For about a year, a couple of years ago, I decided, because I do a lot of musical theater, and I said, all right, I've got to get better at dancing. So 3 or 4 times a week, I would go to the Debbie Reynolds dance school. And yes, that Debbie Reynolds. And she walks around. It's very cute. And I went to the Debbie Reynolds school, and I was taking jazz and tap and musical theater dance. But it's full of all of these kids from all over the world, Brazil, different Asian countries.
Looking to fill out the last line of their.
That's
their,
what I'm saying.
their
I bet
headshot
you.
resume.
I
Looking
bet
to
you.
add b-boy into that resume.
When this movie came down the pike, they were all like, Yahtzee! They're psyched.
It is kind of crazy to go in there, and it's such an old school
full.
place with like thoroughly modern Millie and
Yep.
Singing in the Rain posters, and all you hear is.
And it's loud. Yeah. And they all come out in the hallway, but they all get along, which is kind of neat because you see people from all over the world just all hanging out and getting along. But they all look kind of crazy. Their hair's cut off on one side, and the bangs are all crazy. And then they have these, they wear their sweatpants, but depending on what kind of dancer they are, they pull up one leg higher than the other.
That tells you what kind of dancer they are?
Yeah.
I
It's some
thought-
sort of thing.
That's
I don't know what that
actually
is.
from the drug culture.
Well, they're doing it.
Oh yeah,
So,
that
yeah,
means you're holding, right?
Holding.
You got one up.
Adopted
Buying
by
or selling.
dancing.
Seriously, it's buying or selling.
Yeah,
What,
they
They're
learned
doing
that from
that.
Colors.
Yeah, they're doing that
Yeah.
dancing.
LL Cool J was always buying.
he was always,
Didn't he roll up one leg?
I think he did.
I think he was always
On the
selling
bad
'cause
cover?
I was buying whatever he was selling.
That makes you wonder. That makes you wonder when the guys whose pants are almost falling down if they're buying or selling there too.
They're selling crack. I think that's how they signify.
You're like, I got some crack.
All right, let's focus on Andy.
My
for a
uncle
second.
wrote that
Yeah.
down.
We were
and-
talking
Yeah.
about ass crack, and now we can talk about
Frito Lay's Key West. Is that a good one?
Cute. That's good.
Is that? Did I do it?
So we ask this of every guest who comes on the show.
Yeah.
What's your favorite movie?
Man, oh man. You have your Ghostbusters shirt on. That's probably my favorite franchise.
I think you are my favorite guest.
It's good
There you
stuff.
go.
Good
I
stuff.
can quote it.
You can stay.
For quotability, probably Big Lebowski. Just
Oh,
'cause,
nice.
You
like,
can. Now that's their favorite. You're
yeah.
doing
Is it?
good.
You've hit 3
Oh,
quarters
yeah.
of the
You're doing
table
really
right there.
well.
Excellent. In college, it was like a pastime to just like say whole scenes of Lebowski.
Isn't it great to watch
And we
with
just
other
watch
people?
it all the time.
Oh.
It's the best. And now that it's, have you watched the documentary about the Lebowski festival and
No,
how
I
that's
haven't
taken
seen
off?
that.
The
started
whole
in
thing
Kentucky,
is,
though.
it's so refreshing to know that it's not just us. There's a whole, there's a whole sector.
Is
People
it-
show up in bathrobes and the
Yeah.
whole deal.
Isn't
yeah.
Lebowski
Yes,
the ultimate vindication of a cult movie?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like because everybody's
Because there's a failure, total failure of a box office film.
yeah, and critically, I think, and everything else, and then just because everybody's had like a cult film, you're like, oh, good, there's a cult around that, but that means 4 people like that,
Yeah.
like
No, yeah.
But Lebowski, it's like, oh, this is legitimately recognized of it for its quality.
Yeah. Well, and for a movie to spin off into a festival, like I don't know of anything else. Like Ghostbusters would be a good.
That would be awesome.
Why
you're
isn't
right.
there an annual Ghostbusters?
We should totally
festival?
start that. I would help you
Who
do
wouldn't
that.
want to go to a Ghostbusters?
More shit to
festival?
dress as.
Totally go to a Ghostbusters festival.
Because you've got
Please.
2 characters to dress as for Lebowski.
But now I like
3,
Lebowski
4.
festivals. If you go, they're getting really intricate. Like a guy, there's a line. Sam? What's his name? The gruff cowboy.
Elliot.
Oh, Sam
Sam
Elliott.
Elliott has a line about the Queen and her damned undies.
Yeah.
And a guy went last year as the Queen and his undies. Like they're getting that.
That's
They're getting
awesome.
that
Like a
deep cut
line.
with their costumes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they walk around. They drink White Russians, right?
You have to be drinking White Russians.
Yeah.
They're always in bowling alleys. I have to go to one of these. But yeah, for cult classic favorite and quotability, Big Lebowski's.
We've all got to go see. I got a chance to see Lebowski at the New Beverly, greatest theater on the face of the earth, greatest movie theater ever. They showed Lebowski and packed in there with a full, completely packed crowd. You got to see this movie with a crowd because we all know it. We've seen it, 30, 40 times or whatever. But the parts where there aren't jokes on screen, you realize how much that's leading up to a major joke because you can hear that crowd sort of silently getting more anticipatory. It's really wonderful.
I love that it's becoming like the modern Rocky Horror Picture Show, where people will go pack in theaters all dressed up and shout their favorite parts and even add their own little interesting takes on all the lines.
Which is tough to do because the Coen brothers, man, their scripts are always so tight. If you can come up with a line that fits in with that, then I will applaud.
That probably drives them crazy. They're probably very anti.
They are. They are.
Like, no, that's not the line.
No improv
that's
on the
not
set.
the line.
But it's interesting. It's interesting you say the scripts are tight because there's a lot of air in Lebowski and it's very deliberate air.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of fast-paced dialogue in that, but the air is so deliberate and exactly this long. It's very Coen Brothers in that way.
I love those are my favorite parts of that movie is Walter's long pauses to react. Like when Jesus tells him he's gonna kick his ass on Wednesday instead, the just lowering of his glasses to stare at him, that juicy pause. Coen Brothers, I think, are brilliant at that. The like no line moments. Yeah.
My favorite line with so much air in it is, well, that's like your opinion, man. It takes as much time as it deflates. It deflates itself because of it's a retort, but it's not.
Yeah, but it loses steam as it goes along.
Well, he was perfect to play that part because I feel like Bridges
casting.
just takes that long to say things.
Yeah.
I've seen him
Anyways.
at Comic-Con. He's talking about a movie coming out in January called Seventh Son for Legendary Films. But he's the dude up there. So he's pitching this Seventh Son as this mythical epic with dragons, and he plays an old drinking swordsman.
Oh, that looks cool. Yeah.
But he's talking about, so what was it like making this movie? Man, there are dragons, man. And
It's like, I got to act with real dragons, dude.
Oh, well, when he got the Oscar for True Grit, it was True Grit. Or no, I mean,
Crazy Heart.
But Lebowski accepted that award. Wow, man, this is. I can't remember some of the stuff he said, but it was Lebowski.
Mind if I smoke a J?
Yeah, mind if I do it, Jay? Fucking A, man.
All right, well, let's talk about not just your favorite movie, but what we saw this week in another edition of...
What did you see? What did you see this week?
Jazz hands.
So I put it to the table. What did you see this week?
Or recently, if you haven't seen something this week, Andy.
I just got around to seeing This Is the End. I just watched it last night.
They put it back in theaters so it could cross 100 million because I think everyone in the movie got extra bonuses.
Oh, man.
100
Oh, is that back in
Plus,
theaters?
more people should see it. Yeah, and it still probably is.
Oh, I'm going to go see it.
It's not like any sort of story or anything, but it's a fun movie. And
I
if you're a
just
fan
love
of
that.
any of those guys, like Danny McBride, I'm a huge Danny McBride fan.
Oh, then that's perfect.
And to see him playing a heightened version of himself. And just like he's ruining the rationing of an apocalypse, just like eating all their food. It's really fun. And there's moments where it's great. And like the kind of heightened idea that other people have of themselves, they play that up. Like Jonah Ray carries himself as this Oscar or Jonah Hill.
Yeah.
Jonah Ray.
My
My buddy
Let's get
Jonah
him on
Ray.
the show.
Shout out to
Get him
Jonah
on
Ray.
the show. Tell him.
He'll
name
do
check
it.
him, get him
He'll
on the
do it.
show.
Do knock. We call him Do knock.
Yeah, that's
But Jonah Hill, like he plays up the whole Oscar-nominated, carrying himself as like a dramatic guy now.
And he's also super sweet too.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah,
is like
he's real
crazy because
sensitive
he's
and
just like
listens.
he's kind of a.
That's the
brash
thing
dude.
I always loved when Ben Stiller used to do it so well on Curb Your Enthusiasm or Extras.
Yeah.
Play a heightened version of him as a huge dickhead.
Yeah.
And so that's why I wanted to see this movie so bad, but just missed it because it's a whole cast playing
Yeah.
heightened versions.
The
of Michael
best-
Cera and
The best of it, I was gonna say, is Michael Cera plays this
Oh
like
God, yeah.
out there asshole version of coked out version of himself. That's just so funny.
Oh, I'm so in. I'm
Yeah.
glad that's
If you just
back.
want to hear those guys tell funny jokes and say funny one-liners, that's the movie. Yeah, they
Yeah.
put it in a setting of whatever. Doesn't matter. To put all these guys at a baseball game, it'll
Yeah.
just be hilarious because
Yeah.
the dialogue is so funny.
And you've seen the lead guy's penis, right?
I'm sorry.
James Franco?
James
James
Franco?
Franco's
You saw
penis.
James Franco's dick?
Oh,
What's
Yeah.
it look like? What's
the
it look
dick
like?
that's in his apartment. The big
Oh,
giant thing.
yeah.
I saw that in a warehouse. The
It's
actual-
it's like a paper mache.
yeah, that whole thing.
That's where I
That
keep my dick in a warehouse.
blew the tip off.
Now
Need a
the
whole-
ladies
No,
know.
I'm saying-
And Franco's hilarious in that movie. He might be
Yeah,
the funniest
they're
one.
all just
And they're
playing
all comics,
themselves
but-
as like the things that they do with the idea of what their natural self is. It's really funny.
So that's a must see.
Yeah.
It is a little rapey, though. It gets a little rapey.
Oh, I heard
There's a lot
this.
of rapey jokes, yeah.
They use the word rapey.
I'm just teasing.
Yeah, but it's like
It's
mystical
awesome.
Got all
creatures.
rapey on Hermione.
You get a little rapey on
Yeah.
Hermione.
Yep.
But
But
I saw
they
War
play that up,
Games.
yeah.
What'd you say?
I saw War Games.
Oh, the
Oh.
original?
Oh, it's like,
Yes, and I saw it
Oh,
on.
wait, they never remade that. But it
it's
feels like they
30
did.
He was
was-
like 30 years old.
He was
Hard
just
to
sitting there
believe.
flipping through TV, and all of a sudden he just saw it on like some cable
I
channel.
saw it on Comedy Central
Oh.
or Sci-Fi or something.
Did they have
Sci-fi, probably.
commercials?
They did, and they cut the crap out of that movie.
No.
Not for content because my sensitivities would be insulted.
Yeah.
But they wanted to squeeze it in 45 minutes. So let's see if we can get this through. See if we can get this thing through.
get
and,
these
yeah,
games
let's
started.
go. Boom. And the Whopper. Boom. We're done.
You know what's weird? Sometimes they'll make it like a 2-hour movie, 2.5 hours. Still cut a ton out of
Yeah.
it. They have so many commercials. It's a half hour long.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can't even do movies.
But
on
I
cable
was
anymore.
reminded of just what an amazing film that is. That's just a fun
Ah, I
1980s
loved that
movie. It's such an 80s movie. It's got Dabney Coleman in it. I wish we had Dabney Coleman still.
We did. Well, we did.
I-
We had Boardwalk Empire. Up,
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
is he running
He
around?
back?
was. Yeah, this character.
But do you
didn't make
remember-
it, but not a lot to do on Boardwalk
Dabney
Empire.
Coleman was a major. He was,
He
in
was
all
in
kinds of stuff.
literally in every movie in
He
1984.
was in Cloak and Dagger with the kid
Yeah,
from E.T.
9 to
remember
5.
that? And didn't they have an Atari game? Was the thing they were looking for in Cloak and Dagger?
Oh, I never saw Cloak and Dagger.
I never did
I don't
either,
know
but I
Cloak
remember
and
the commercial for it.
I did see Flight of the Navigator.
You saw it was an Atari game?
Jamie chiming in.
Jamie.
Ah.
No shit. Is it on Netflix?
No, I own it.
Oh,
well.
you're awesome.
Jamie owns Cloak and Dagger. Should you want to borrow it? There
Well,
you go.
do you own War Games? Because I put it on my list of movies to see.
Oh, put it on.
Should I have that on there?
Oh, you should.
Yeah,
you
got-
haven't seen it?
You got-
No.
Is that Sarah Jessica Parker?
No, it's
Who's the chicken?
Oh
I
no,
like
it's
her.
Ali Sheedy.
Ali
Sheedy.
Sheedy.
Oh,
That's
all
right.
I like her less than Sarah
There's
Jessica
this
Parker,
great
but-
line
and
where
perfect Matthew Broderick.
yeah, there's
Oh,
this
I like
Perfect
Matthew
age.
Broderick.
where they're.
I also like really old machines, like computers. Like that makes
Oh,
me
you'll
happy.
see it. It's all tape
You'll-
drives
Old
destroying the world in
versions,
that
yeah.
movie.
Yeah, good.
She types.
I
She
like-
types in her iPhone.
Oh,
No, it was the Whopper you're thinking about. The Whopper, the computer that they use. No, but there's this great line. You just don't hear them anymore. They're plotting this. They're playing the game. Everyone knows the movie except for Karen, right?
Would you like
I know
to
that
play
the
a
word game is in there, so something's going on with the game. Yeah.
And so he pulls an early Ferris Bueller where he hacks into the computer of the school and changes her grade. And
Yeah.
like 3/4 away through the movie, they're about to enter nuclear annihilation for the world. And Ali Sheedy turns to Matthew Broderick and says, "This has nothing to do with my grade, does it?" because that was what put everything into motion.
Yeah.
That's
Would
a
you
good
like
Broderick
to play
line.
a game?
I love watching computer hacking of the 80s.
Oh.
Too.
Right, because
The
it's that little
physical
square.
idea of it.
Yeah.
Let me just break into the mainframe. Blip, 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 blip.
And they're all doing it
Oh,
on
the phone
dial-up.
modem. The phone
right?
modem.
The
Yeah.
phone modem.
Yeah, the dial-up phone modem. Oh, that time. What
And
a
it all
silly
sounds
time.
like that, too.
There it is.
Would you like to play a game? Oh, I saw Pitch Black. Or sorry, Pitch Black 3. Or sorry,
Electric
wait,
Boogaloo.
Riddick. Chronicles of Riddick.
Black
Pitch Black 3.
2 TOO.
The blackening.
You're now in the danger zone.
TOO. Step up
Pitch
to
Black
the
2.
Riddick.
Yeah, and you liked it. You liked
to
it,
the
yeah?
Riddick.
I did. Boy, what a major fail for the advertising campaign of that fucking movie. Because you remember the advertising campaign? It starts with like him chained up.
Yeah, and those
He's
weird
like,
beasts.
whenever you release me, I'm going to kill you in 5 seconds. And then they're like, all of a sudden, there's all kinds of creatures outside the
Yeah.
ship, and oh my god.
Oh, yeah.
And so you're like, oh, they just took it. Like, because Chronicles of Riddick tried to set up this huge mythology, and you're like, oh, they just said fuck that, and then put him right back in the exact same plot as Pitch Black. And I was like, ugh, it looks like they just went directly back to Pitch Black, which is what that ad is supposed to make me think of. But there's so much shit in that movie that's awesome and cool sci-fi stuff. I mean, you got to like sci-fi to like it, but I think you could play to like a really sci-fi fan thing. The first 20 minutes is him alone on a desolate planet.
Yeah, I like the whole Wall-E
Just
part.
breathing heavy.
Remember, it's him alone in a grease screen
Doing
in
push-ups.
Van Nuys.
Adam, it's you
You know,
can
you're
go-
not far off, actually. I mean, it really is like he's kind of working out so he can do shit at the
I'm
beginning.
telling you.
But Adam, you can go ahead and say it. Just go ahead and say it for the rest of us. Go ahead. It wasn't the movie you expected.
Nah.
Oh.
Well, based on the advertising campaign,
That's all I'm saying. Based on
For you listeners out there, I will give the counter argument. I did not like Riddick. I thought it started out great as a sci-fi movie that really was super confident because there was very little dialogue. He had to sort of make his way around this planet that he didn't know about. And then as it went along...
Frank Frazetta backdrops all the way.
Yeah. And then, but then it became, when it expanded, it became more of the things I liked least about it and lost parts that I liked the most.
Okay.
So the dumb dialogue came in, and when it wasn't a lot of that at the beginning, and I got disappointed. Then there was like a ton of gore, and it wasn't a whole lot at the beginning, and I got disappointed by that. And then the aliens come in, and they're not necessary by that point. It's just the last third of the movie.
But I gotta tell you, man, it knows where its bread is buttered. The fucking annoying guy that you want to get killed the whole time, and you know you're gonna wait till almost the end before he gets killed. It's very enjoyable to watch him get beat up constantly because everybody hates him. And you know Riddick's going to kill him in the end. I think he kills him in the trailer, actually. It's that guy.
That was one of the goriest ways he went, but it was entertaining.
Yeah, but the thing that I think is hard for a movie to recapture from Pitch Black is not that there's creatures and they're trying to elude the creatures, but it's the Riddick coming out of the dark and taking someone with him. And so there's like this group of people, and Riddick's like, I mean, it does a cool thing where Riddick basically shows himself on radar, and therefore bounty hunters head in, which is great because that's from Chronicles of Riddick, like bounty hunters wanting him. And so two sets of bounty hunters come in, and he makes them implode, just striking from the darkness. And I think that's so Pitch Black, and I love that they captured that, which you almost forget is the reason you kind of liked Riddick to begin with in Pitch Black, because we're way past that, and way past that in Vin Diesel's career, that I'm like, oh, they captured that, and I kind of forgot. And there's this great moment where they're like having this conversation about Riddick's out there, and he's going to get us or something like that. And one guy turns around, and he turns back, and there's Riddick dragging the other guy away into the darkness. And I'm like, that is key.
And that's so cool. I didn't need the aliens, but yet they showed up. So I mean, I would have carried that plot to the end of the movie, but then aliens showed up.
That was just them saving money on a fight choreographer.
Yep.
Said just do that
Turn the
off
lights
screen.
off. And we're all
Yeah,
beat
we're
up.
all beat up. Nobody had to worry about anything.
All right, we got something else for you here, Andy.
Oh
it's
my
a little
gosh.
something we like to call.
5. Haha, said 5. What? Yeah, 5. Haha, question for other guests.
So it's 5 questions for other guests.
And in this case, that's very true.
Oh, Andy's looked ahead.
Sorry.
No
I'll
thinking
put
ahead
my
of-
blinders
That's
on.
right.
Yes, because these are questions for guests who aren't Andy Peters.
Okay.
This is kind of meta. These are questions that weren't for Matt Bronger.
Yes. And
That's
now,
true.
Yeah. We haven't.
And now they're not for you.
we haven't let that cat out of the bag.
Yeah, Matt
yet.
Bronger was
Oh, yeah.
to
I'm a
be
last
here.
minute replace though.
He got sick.
Yeah.
So
Bronger.
we're thrilled to have Andy here. And we'll get Matt on again in the future when he's not
yeah.
so sick.
Mm-hmm.
But
Let me know if he gets sick again.
Exactly, right?
Double
he'll
replacement.
start
That's
dipping
right.
stuff in his
I'm not
coffee.
above double replacement.
Dude, that's how I get all my best jobs. If somebody else gets sick, I can't make it, I'm there.
So to
That's
get
how I just call casting
Right.
agents. Who's sick? Who's
Who's
sick?
sick? I'll come down.
to get
But
to
if
know
he
you
didn't
better,
get
Andy.
sick, we wouldn't know you, Andy.
That's
So
right.
I'm
How
very.
fun.
Here's how we get to know you even better.
And he likes Ghostbusters and all your favorite
Yeah,
movies.
yeah.
He's the best.
He never mentioned Raiders of the Lost Ark, so we'll see if he's
He
back.
was close.
I am. I'm into
Right?
it.
Andy, why did you decide to go back to North Korea a second time?
We're just curious.
It was a recipe that I tried the first time that I had to get back to.
Oh, the North Korean cuisine.
North Korean cuisine,
Well, of
not
course.
Korean cuisine.
Yeah, the South Koreans.
Specific. It's garbage. South Korean's garbage. You gotta go to the dangerous areas to get the good. What is Korean cuisine? Pho?
You were
I
there.
get the good fun.
I think that's interesting because you talk about the North Korean cuisine, and I don't know if many of the people that live in Korea are having the North Korean cuisine.
I know they get it in rations.
Aren't most of them starving?
From Zoom Kong.
Now you said you had to go back to get the recipe. Did you write it down but lose it? And then you came back.
I gotta
and
go
like,
back again. I gotta go back again.
Write it down next
a
time.
I'm not
secret
good
sauce.
I'm not good at writing things down.
Don't
Had
write
it my
things
phone,
down.
hit delete.
Andy, I'm
yeah.
curious. How did you feel about all the racist tweets about you after you won the Miss America contest?
It was absurd.
Yeah.
I'm not Middle Eastern,
Oh,
which was the
okay.
main thing.
Right.
I'm what am I? Indian, which is
like Indian, like India
I'm
or
from
India,
India.
like
From India.
I would
from
say
India.
ask Twitter what you are, but I think that's going to get off into a whole place.
Last time I
Angry
checked, there's
place.
no Indian from India terrorists, and wasn't that the big thing they were calling me? Was some sort of terrorist?
This is your question, Andy.
Yeah,
I can't answer for
that's
you.
what they were calling me, and I'm
Okay.
upset
I think
about
I'd be more upset that you're a dude, but whatever.
There are
Well,
no
he doesn't
Slumdog
mind being
terrorists.
called
But
a
how
woman.
good did I look during the
You
telecast?
looked hot in your
Outstanding.
swimsuit.
Very nice.
Pretty passable as a hot lady
Hot
from
lady.
India.
You won. You beat all those other bitches.
And
Yep.
the talent portion.
Don't even remember what it was. Was it good?
Yeah, you went
Was
down
I
on
good?
you went down on a banana.
But you were good at it.
Only in India.
Great. Well, went down on it with a peel, but then it came back no peel.
That's what we're talking about.
That's how we do it in India.
Now, Andy,
Yeah.
where do you find the inspiration for your rhymes?
Well, Jesus is a big one. Probably number one. And funny that you ask, breakdancing movies of the early 80s.
B-boy.
Sorry.
Actually, I guess that was going to be my second part was where do you find the inspiration for your funky fresh beats? But I think you've answered both.
Now, okay, so you said Jesus is the inspiration. So
JC.
what rhymes with Jesus? Pleases and Beezus?
Pleases is a good one. And yeah, and then when you're as good at the rap game as me, you just make up rhymes for words. You just add syllables to other words like feesus, Beezus,
Beezus.
Meezus, Cleezus.
He's got the meesus.
My beats.
I'm all
Yeah.
itchy because I got the meesus.
My Jesus is all like a cheese.
Yeah, you as
Cheez-Its.
fresh as
Cheez-Its.
Jason and the Golden Fleeces.
All right, I'm curious.
Got
What
the beat.
message? What message are you sending to other world leaders by being photographed so much shirtless? Mm-hmm. Yeah, what is that about?
Just be more adventurous, be more of an adventure man, swim with piranhas, zip line across the Alps, all with no shirt on. I'm just
No
trying to
shirt.
get the Obamas and the other other leaders of the world that I can't think of off the top of my head. The Obamas and the
It's only like
Obamas
100 countries. It's fine.
and the
Prime
Hillary
Minister
Clintons
Thwartson.
and the Obamas. Just go shirtless, whatever
The
you
Anthony
can.
Villagosas.
You know that really hot chick from Argentina? Where's she, the princess or something? She should go shirtless.
Take it off.
Queen of Jordan, Queen
yes,
Nora.
Queen Nora should go shirtless.
Yeah.
Extreme sporting as well. That's also.
A lot of extreme. Well, just activities. You add the word extreme to it. Do it without a shirt. That's the name of my game. Extreme fishing, extreme lounging,
Golfing.
extreme hiking,
Klondike.
extreme dog walking. Take your shirt off. It's extreme.
I think you're right.
That's my message to the people. Take your shirt off and anything's extreme.
I think he's right.
If there wasn't video evidence of this podcast, we could just do it shirtless.
Well, we may not need
Yeah,
video
that's right.
evidence of this, but I have my
Yes.
final question for
Yeah.
another guest. What's your most embarrassing tattoo?
Yeah.
It's probably the tattoo of my own face on my face. So you don't even know it's there.
Yes, I can't see
You
it.
can't even see that it's there.
It's really
But it's
good.
my face
It's
tattoo.
the same size?
It's a fake.
Yep. It's just a layover. It's the perfect. It's the guy did a really good job. It's a
Apparently.
perfect
That's
replica
great.
of my face on my face.
Now that I'm looking closer, he did tattoo smaller nostrils, which you'd think would be impossible.
Now, in the future, you think you'll ever get someone else's face tattooed on your face?
That might ruin the tattoo of my face on my
right,
face.
right.
But I
You'd
might
have to get the first one removed, right?
like getting Mike Tyson's face on your face, which would be a face tattoo over
Of your face.
tattoo.
Just get a younger one of you every year.
Yeah.
Oh,
There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
But you
smart.
always have to have a 5 o'clock shadow, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
that's good.
You
That's
made
like-
that
Very
choice,
important.
and you said this is what I'm
Very
going with.
important.
Hey, George Michael did the
Sticking to
same
it.
thing, and it worked for him.
Although he has to
Yep.
get it touched up when it turns into a 3 o'clock shadow.
All right, Andy, thanks for playing the 5 questions game. But stick around. We're going to turn things over to Karen now for her big send-off, celebrating the birthdays of those.
This is where we get
Who
really
make the
entertainment
movies.
tonight.
Yeah.
This is the
All right.
entertainment tonight
This is a fun one.
portion
All right.
of the show.
Music, please.
Okay.
That scared me. All right, let's start off our birthdays this week by wishing a happy birthday to Jada Pinkett Smith, who turns 42, Nicole Richie, who turns 31, and Kevin Zagers, who turns 28. But
Never mind that shit. Here comes Mungo.
What's going on?
Now, I have to kill all of you. Dogs and cats living together. Mass hysteria.
so we can start our Bill Murray Lollapalooza by wishing a very happy birthday to Mr. Bill Murray.
Oh, shit. Oh, my God.
Hey, Mr. Bill Murray.
Karen's favorite actor.
That's
of all
big
time.
time stuff.
This is
Look how
awesome
hard her
stuff.
nipples are.
I'm so excited. Size A, my ass.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're
Who
like
can-
D's now. With the
Right?
nipples.
Because Bill Murray's Bill Murray can
Your
play
nipples
anywhere.
are an A.
Thank you. He can play anywhere from Polonius, Ophelia's father in Hamlet, to Bosley and Charlie's Angels, all in the span of the same year.
Wow.
Talk about range. And if you've listened or watched just one episode of The Movie Guys, you are no stranger to my love of the great Bill Murray. So to celebrate this lovable recluse, let's play what are Karen's top 7 Bill Murray movies.
Oh, okay.
Groundhog
All
Day.
right, let me check these off.
I like it went to 7 because
Yes.
you couldn't decide on 5, right?
Right.
There was 2 ties. I knew it.
7?
That's so
Okay.
Karen.
All right, that's right.
Groundhog Day.
Ghostbusters.
Groundhog
Yes,
Day.
and Ghost.
Oh,
yes.
what a classic.
Where the buffalo roam.
Stripes.
No, but I do like that. Oh, Stripes. I
Mad
do
Dog
like-
and Glory.
No, I don't have that on there.
Well, Ghostbusters.
Yes.
Meatballs.
No, but I like that one too. It's
I'm
hard.
shocked
I like
Meatballs is not on
It's
there.
okay.
Them. No,
That's a
but
good one.
there's
Rushmore.
another. No. Mm-mm.
Okay, Karen, your list is wrong.
Yeah,
No.
what's wrong with you?
No.
Hey,
Your list of your favorite
I'm
Bill
just
Murray's
saying.
movies is wrong.
Think about
There's
how
one
great the
movie-
movies are. You've
There's
forgotten.
so, I know those are on the list, but there's one movie that's very awesome.
Caddyshack.
Caddyshack.
Right?
Yeah.
Come on,
It's
Ann.
in the hole.
It's in the hole.
Broken Flowers.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love
Jim
that movie.
Jarmusch.
You know why I love that movie? Because Bill Murray goes around to all the girls that he once had relations with, and he just shows up, and I'm like, fuck, I wish he would just show up at my house with flowers.
Yeah, now you know
Life
the other one.
Aquatic, right? Life Aquatic?
No, no, the other one.
That didn't make the list.
Not the other one.
That's a little too weird for
That's-
Karen, I think.
Yeah, a little
Now
too
I know what it
serious.
is. Now
So, I mean,
know
that's
what it
not really classic Bill Murray.
Yeah.
So.
is. What's the Coppola one?
Yeah. That's it. What is it?
Lost
So-
in translation.
That's the one.
Yes, and there's
What a
one
classic.
more.
And once Andy said Broken Flowers, I said Lost in
Yeah,
Translation.
you
It's
gotta
gotta
think
be on
of
there.
all of those
Yeah.
like
Okay.
quiet
There's
Bill Murray
one
movies.
more.
I'm going to throw one out that's might not be on there, but maybe it is.
Bigger than life, larger than life.
I would say one of the most underrated Bill Murray movies, and the very last one in which he was a lead, The Man Who Knew Too Little.
That's a good one, but that's not the one.
It's not larger than
Here's-
life.
I'm sailing.
Here's one of my
Oh,
favorite
what about
ones.
Bob?
What about Bob? That's what I was gonna say.
Right, yes.
I was just
you were
gonna
gonna say?
say that.
All right, so we're gonna
That's a
continue
good one.
with some interesting tidbits about the Hurricane. Did you ever hear that? The Hurricane.
I saw what you did there.
Dan,
The
actually, Dan, I
Hurricane.
stole it from Dan Aykroyd. He nicknamed Bill Murray that because of his consistent mood swings. Also, the Hurricane is a cocktail. So, gentlemen who drink, tell me if this would be any good. It contains bourbon, basil, elderflower, watermelon, and pepper.
What's elderflower?
I do not even know. But next time you're out drinking, get yourself a Hurricane. All right, fun facts about Bill Murray. His favorite musical is Oklahoma, and I played Ada Annie twice, so I think he should call me.
That is
Very
a
important.
fun fact.
That is
Oklahoma.
a fun fact. Oklahoma.
That fact is bring that fact to a party.
I'm telling you, Bill Murray singing Oklahoma would be awesome. So now, this is kind of fun. There were several movies, I'm telling you, I didn't even list them all, that Bill Murray was cast in, but he turned them down. And I'm talking big ass parts.
Titanic.
No,
No?
not that one.
No, for the part of Rose.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's right.
That's what I meant.
Do you guys know
The part of Titanic.
the part of
He was
the
gonna play the
ship?
ship.
He's gonna play the iceberg.
These are huge
He would've
parts.
done the captain well.
Yes, he would have been very good at the captain.
Whitebeard.
Paul, one of
Yeah.
your favorite characters in a
I
movie.
looked at these, so I feel like I'm
Oh,
cheating
okay.
if I
Okay,
guess what
how
they
many
are.
are there?
There's a couple, but I'll just tell you. Han Solo in Star Wars.
Oh,
no
way.
Yes,
Yes,
that's a fact.
a
Really?
fact.
Yeah.
Dusty Bottoms and the Three Amigos, the Chevy Chase part.
Okay,
Oh,
that makes sense.
That would have been
Absolutely.
really good.
Yeah, I'm
Probably
glad
better,
that didn't
'cause-
happen though. That's one of my favorite
I
movies
love that
of all
movie,
time.
right?
Yeah. Chase was a little on drugs, though. Maybe Bill Murray might have woken that up a little bit. But
Yeah, that was before Bill
He was
Murray
definitely
fell
half
asleep
asleep.
as a career
Yeah.
choice.
Yes. Yeah, right. He took a little
Chevy Chase,
hiatus.
yeah.
Chevy Chase. Now, this one's kind of cool, and I think it would have worked. Daryl Van Horn in The Witches of Eastwick, the Jack Nicholson part.
yeah.
How
that
cool
would've been
would that have
interesting.
been? Yes. Of course, Bruce Wayne, Batman. Michael
Yeah.
Keaton got it instead.
I heard that.
Now-
How crazy would that be?
Yeah, but it's very separate productions. The one that they were trying to mount in like '83 was the one that was with Bill Murray.
yeah, I
and that was
think it
and that
all
was going to be an
changed
Ivan
over.
Reitman thing too, and yeah.
Yeah, but then it went to who eventually directed it?
But that's like before Tim Burton. Tim Burton wasn't thinking of Bill Murray.
No,
yeah.
I don't think so. And then this is totally would have been perfect. Eddie Valent in Who Framed Roger Rabbit, which was played by Bob Hoskins.
Yeah.
How great would that
Oh,
have
I
been?
wish you were in that. Actually,
I do too, and that's what. Yeah, that would have been better with him.
You think so? I like Bob Hoskins.
Yeah, I mean-
Haskins.
I don't know.
I love the guy.
Hodgkins.
I
oh,
love
what's his
that
name?
actor, Bob Haskins.
No, I love. Him
I
so
love
much.
Robert De Niro. I love Al Pacino.
Sorry, guys.
They're
I
all
have to
they're
tell
my
you.
favorites.
I've been
All right.
diagnosed with Bob
Dustin
Hodgkins.
Hoffman.
All right, I'll do two more, and then I'll like Charlie Babbitt in Rain Man, the Tom Cruise part.
would've
Dustin Hoffman wanted him to play his brother. How
That
cool!
would've
It is
worked.
underwear wherever you buy it. Underwear? It's underwear. in Cincinnati or wherever.
Voice got really high in that movie.
Ray, am I using you? Yes. He is answering a question from a half hour ago.
God, I need to see that again.
I know, right? I could hear him doing all that.
The other one Bill Murray almost played, but he decided not to, was Forrest Gump.
Huh.
I could have
Right?
seen that. That would have been fun.
He would have been awesome in that.
Would have been funnier.
It would have been
a lot
funnier.
funnier.
It would have been
Yeah.
funnier. I wouldn't want to see him play that off version of himself the way that Tom Hanks did. I mean,
yeah.
I buy it, Tom Hanks off version of himself, but I just don't want to see.
Oh
Bill
yeah,
Murray
like I
do
kind of
that.
wouldn't want
right,
to
I
see
wouldn't
him
wanna see
be
him
like
sort of slow.
slow. I just want to see
Oh.
Bill Murray have that adventure.
Yeah, exactly. I don't need him to be kind of tough.
Yeah, I guess I could see him more in that sort of what's the movie he was just in, the Wes Anderson movie, the father in that.
Yeah,
the
the Moonrise
As Forrest
Kingdom.
Gump.
Oh,
That
yeah.
was funny. And also, did you guys know that we all know that Bill Murray was he only played Venkman in Ghostbusters because John Belushi had died. But this really surprised me. Their other three characters were cast with somebody else too. Now we know that this is horrible.
Originally Zeddemore was Eddie Murphy.
Right, that one. Do you know who Dan Aykroyd's character was originally?
Dick Cavett.
Glenn Close.
John Candy. And get
Liam
this,
Hemsworth.
John
Egon-
Candy, I can see it, yeah.
Egon was originally going to be Christopher Walken.
Oh, and it was supposed to be Belushi as well.
Yeah, that would be the Bill Murray part.
Oh, yeah,
that
the
he
Bill Murray
passed.
part.
Yes. And lastly,
Bob
Bill Murray.
Hopscotch.
Babs Hopscotch.
Okay, I'm going to wrap this
Supposed to
up, I
be
promise you. Lastly, I also found out what Bill Murray said to Scarlett Johansson at the very end of Lost in Translation.
Wait, spoiler alert.
I don't want to
This
know,
is
but
actually, I'm going to tell you.
it's a-
Well,
it's a-
actually, this
it's a
isn't,
joke.
Bill Murray never said this. It was left for him to ad lib, and he never actually divulged the information. But somebody went in and they did an audio enhancement of it, and they
What?
think this is what he said. And I think it's totally clever and awesome. He says, I have to be leaving, but I won't let that come between us, okay? Of course, there were a couple of other rumored things that he said. One is, can I say something that's eating me? Why don't you go tell that guy the truth, okay? And my favorite, keep away from Woody Allen. I'm the only creepy old man you should be hanging around with, okay? So I just want to say happy birthday to Bill Murray, and we have some special Bill Murray music.
Can you please hold the goddamn hammering?
And
Bill
I
Murray
have
I think has been quoted as saying that was a secret shared between two lovers.
secret between two
At the end of
lovers.
Lost
So what I'm saying is just something they're guessing. We don't know if it's
Karen
true.
has broken out a gigantic
Yeah,
prop
what
for
is
you
happening?
YouTube watchers.
I have a birthday present for all of us to celebrate Bill Murray's birthday.
Oh, cookies.
Can you play the song that Bill Murray's singing?
I can.
Andy, every once in a while there's treats on the podcast. I'm
This
kind of
is
happening.
happening.
Oh,
Oh my
my
God.
this is
It's a
awesome.
Bill Murray cake. It's got a picture of Bill Murray celebrating his own birthday.
That is
and it's got little
fantastic.
flowers like in his beard.
Put that as a close up of the
Oh,
camera.
yeah.
Not too
Yeah.
close, you'll fuck up Paul's camera, but that's pretty good. Oh, that's awesome.
All right, there you go.
And that's Bill Murray singing.
All right. Well,
Happy birthday, Bill Murray.
that's
Call
Karen's favorite
me.
actor of all time, and a very noble dedication to Bill Murray on his 62nd birthday. I think we all love him. Who doesn't love Bill Murray? I mean, everybody loves
Everybody
Bill
Oh,
loves
I
Bill
know.
Murray. I don't know how
Murray.
old you are.
He's a
Communist.
national treasure.
And
I
with that
think
cake, I think that
I
wraps
like him
up.
almost as much as I like Andy.
Oh, that's nice.
That wraps up another Showcast, everybody. Together we are the Movie Guys. Individually we are
We
Adam
Guys.
Preston.
Carol,
Follow
we-
us on Twitter at that hateful place Twitter at the Movie Guys.
We
On-
hate Twitter.
Well,
all
what
of a
they
sudden.
did to that Miss America. Good Lord.
Oh, so
Angry.
racist.
And on Facebook at facebook.com/themovieguys, as well as on YouTube, iTunes, SoundCloud, Vine, Instagram, all that bullshit. Thanks to Andy Peters.
Thanks for having me. Huh?
Andy underscore Peters.
Stronger, schmonger. That's what I say.
Go to andypeterscomedy.com to find out everything he's up to, stand-up,
Thanks.
TV appearances, and more. And thanks to Jamie Clark Elvington in charge of watching the board. And I think she's re-recording Mixer. It's all crazy.
And watching Cloak and Dagger for us.
Yeah.
She watched it, so we don't have to.
And thanks to Steve Scholes, as always, providing great writing for the show. And remember, you can always find everything we're up to at themovieguys.net. Thanks for listening.
Steve, I'm going to have your piece of cake if that's okay. Is that good? Okay.
Bill Murray, call me.
I could feel at the time there was no way of knowing. Fallen leaves in the night, who can say where they're blowing?